Hey, what's going on YouTube? Welcome to my channel. So today's video, I'm going to show you how to create a custom stand for your Harbor Freight shrinker stretcher machine, giving you the ability to create complex curves inward and outward. And it's as simple as doing it in your garage. You just need some basic tools and a welder, and you can have your own custom stand. So I didn't follow the overall guidelines that everybody else is doing with a single standalone stand opposite shrinker stretcher. What I did is I used a Clutch brand welding table, fabrication table, and then I just utilized the existing holes similar to this to allow the shrinker stretcher to be permanently attached, or you can remove it if you'd like, but it's a pretty simple design. Stay tuned, follow the video, I'll show you exactly what I made. Thanks.
All right, with this project, I wanted to do something a little bit different this time. I picked up these from Harbor Freight, shrinker stretcher, and I just really wasn't happy with trying to hold my piece of metal in there and then reach around and pull the lever. So instead of building a standalone stand, I just incorporated them into this jig table, this welding jig table, just utilizing these holes, and just kind of made like almost like a stand, but more rigid. I mean, this is much more rigid. I have the rest of my metal fabrication parts here that I usually use, and it's kind of out of the way, but it's very versatile. And then I'll show you guys what I end up fabricating. Nothing too crazy, a couple hours worth of work, a little bit of welding, and getting creative with it. But here in a second, I'll show you all the parts that I fabbed to build a stand so I can pedal operate this shrinker stretcher. All right, y'all, so this is what I had to fabricate to create the foot pedal for the shrinker stretcher from Harbor Freight. So this is the actual pedal assembly, just some scrap steel that I put together, drilled a couple holes. This is where the heim joint goes. This is where it attaches to the stand. The spring attaches here. Foot pedal, just did a little beefing up so it doesn't flex too much for the foot pedal. This is the actual pedal, the actual arm that moves up and down. I had to bend it a little bit to get through the holes, like in this table. This goes into the actual shrinking machine, threaded down here for a heim joint, actually this heim joint. So I'm using 1/4 by 28 male heim joints. You can pick them up at your local hardware. All this is purchased local hardware. The metal I got from Home Depot. Same thing in here, heim joint in there. This is the stand, so I put a little base on there, so when I'm really pushing down, it doesn't move too much. This is where the foot pedal attaches to. I used 2 skateboard bearings that I had laying around. I think these are bones, just because I had them. And then up here, so the spring attaches up here, and then I threaded a washer and welded a nut inside, and that's where I run a screw that goes down through the 1/2-inch hole and kind of holds it in place. So spring attaches to here, and then it goes down and attaches to the foot peg. This is pretty much what it took to make. Probably about $100-ish worth of steel, unless you have it laying around. Steel, hardware. The heim joints are probably one of the more expensive other than the steel. Just a couple nuts and bolts, a MIG welder. I probably got about 4 or 5 hours into it, just coming up with creation on the fly, like, oh, this works or this doesn't work, or I like this better. But yeah, I'll put it back together and show you guys kind of what it looks like, do a test, and then I'll pull it apart and get it ready for paint. So here it is put together, ready for paint. All the components, the heim joints, the spring, the pedal. As you guys can see. All right, so here's our test go before we go into paint. As you guys can see, starting to curve it. It does mar up the metal a little bit, but you can sand it or put in a planishing hammer if it's too bad. But not too bad for a homemade shrinker stand using a jig table from Northern Tool. Just kind of utilized what I got with some scrap metal and a little bit of ingenuity. There you guys go. All right, here's the finished product for this shrinker. I still got to do the stretcher next, but painted everything flat black, hooked everything back up. I painted the pedal yellow, just so I don't hit it and I can see it. You know, when somebody's walking through, I don't want anybody to get hurt. And plus it matches the shrinker head. So here it is, guys. It's my heim joint, spring attachment, my bearings in there. I just have that just bolted in. Attached here, this is bolted down, and it's ready to be used. A couple test pushes, it's moving the metal pretty good. Overall, I'm pretty happy. Yeah, so thanks for tuning in, guys. This was a fun project. Drove me a little nuts trying to do all the engineering, trying to do something a little different for you guys, instead of just a standard standalone stand or the opposite facing stand. But yeah, it's just an option. Like I said, this table is from Northern Tool. It's a Clutch brand, and I have the mobile cart and this, so I just decided to dedicate this as my sheet metal fab table. All right, thanks for tuning in, guys. More content coming. Thank you.